Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to go through paper 3 of the November 2021 Foundation Mathematics GCSE. Don't forget this one is a calculator paper, which means you need to make sure you have a calculator ready. I have left a link to a calculator below in case you don't have one yourself and would like to buy one. Let's get into this. Question 1 says to solve 4 plus x equals 12 and we want to circle the correct answer. In order to do this we need to take the 4 away from the 12. The 12 minus 4 equals 8, so our answer is x equals 8. Question 2 tells us to circle the largest number. This can be tricky to see, so what I usually suggest is that you make the number of digits the same after the decimal place by adding zeros. If we look at our first number, we can see we've got 4 digits after the decimal place, so we are going to make sure each of our numbers has 4 digits after its decimal place. So 4.5 becomes 4.5000. 4.516 becomes 4.5160. And 4.56 becomes 4.5600. This can make it easier to read, so now we can just look at our numbers and we can see which one we think is the largest. If we have a look, it is 4.56. Next, let's have a look at question 3. It says to circle the expression that means half of the value of x. When we are halving something, that means we're dividing by 2. This means we want an expression that has 2 as our denominator. This means it is the first one. Question 4 says what is the value of 10 to the power of 6? What this means is that we have a 1 followed by 6 zeros. 100 has 2 zeros. 1000 has 3 zeros. 1 million has 6 zeros, so that 1 is our answer. Question 5 is showing us a bank statement. It is important to understand what the bank statement means. Credit means we're going up and debit means we are going down. We are starting with £670 and 43 pence. We are getting 2,156.75 added to our balance, so we need to add these two numbers together, which gives us 2,827.18. Now we are paying our water bill, which means our value is going to drop, so we need to take away the 48.97, which gives us 2,778.21. Lastly, we've had a mortgage payment go out and it's shown us that we've got some debit that we need to work out. This means we need to work out the difference between the balance we just found from the balance that we end up with, so we're going to do 2,778.21 take away 1,642.49. When we do this, we get 1,135.72. Question 6 says to put the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 into the circles so that each line of 3 numbers multiplies to 12. The total of the vertical line is more than the total of the horizontal line. To do this, we need to think of 3 numbers times together. That gives us 12 using the ones that we were given. 6 times 1 times 2 would give us 12, and 3 times 4 times 1 would give us 12. We have a common number of 1, so we can put this in the middle. We need to work out which way we're going to put our numbers. The vertical line must be more than the horizontal line. This means that the vertical line must have our biggest numbers, and so this one must have 6 and 2, and then our horizontal must have 3 and then 4. Question 7 says that point is 217 meters above sea level. Point B is 145 meters lower than point A. Point C is 59 meters below sea level. How much higher is point B than point C? Firstly, let's draw all the points onto our diagram. Point A is 217 meters above the sea level. And we know the point B is 145 meters lower than point A, which means it's at 72. Point C is 59 meters below sea level. Now we're just looking for the distance between 72 and minus 59, so we can do this by doing 59 plus 72, which equals 131. The next question says there are 4 cards, 2, 5, 6, and 8. Use each card once to make the calculation correct. And we can see we're going to get an answer of 1. We are adding 2 numbers together and then we're taking away the other 2 numbers. These questions can be a little bit of trial and error, so let's see what we can do here. If we add 5 and 6 together, we get 11, and if we take away 8, that gives us 3, and then if we take away 2, that gives us 1, so our answer is 5, 6, 8, and 2. The next part of this question to do with listing these numbers. We are picking 2 cards out and we want to list what the first card is and the second card is. This type of question is about systemically listing the cards. I always start with the first card and list the possible outcomes and then move on to the second card. The next part of the question says to write down the probability that the first card is an even number, so let's count how many different outcomes we have. We have 12 cards, so this will be the denominator, and we have 9 even cards in the first pull, so we get 9 as our numerator. We could simplify this fraction, but it doesn't ask us to, so we're not going to. Question 9 says that School A has 42 tutor groups and each group has 28 students. School B has 16 tutor groups and each group has 18 students. Show that the number of students in School A over the number of students in School B is a whole number. To do this, we're going to work out how many pupils School A has, and then we're going to work out how many people School B has. School A will have 72 times by 28, which is 2,016 students. And School B will have 16 times 18, which is 228 students. Then we just take 2016 and divide by 288, which gives us 7. Question 10 is talking about boxes of chocolates, and each box contains 25 chocolates. One box costs £3.25, or you can buy 2 boxes for £5. How much cheaper per chocolate is the special offer? Since we're comparing two things, we're going to split our page in half, and we're going to have 1 box on the left and 2 boxes on the right. We want to work out how much each piece of chocolate cost, so we take the amount that we are paying and we divide it by the number of chocolates we are getting. This means for 1 box we're going to divide £3.25 by 25 because we get 25 chocolates, and when we do that we get 0.13, which means they are 13 pence each. For 2 boxes we are paying £5, but don't forget we'll be getting 50 chocolates instead of 25, so we're going to do 5 divided by 50, which is 0.10 or 10 pence. Now it's asking us how much cheaper it is, which we can see is 3 pence cheaper. Question 11 says in a game the players going first uses crosses on the player going second uses circles. To win a game, a player must get free crosses or 3 circles together in a line, and the line must be horizontal, vertical, or diagonal. Here is the position of the game. This is where we can see exactly where the circles and the crosses are. It's Amy's turn to put a cross on the grid. She wins if she puts a cross on B3. Write down all the other squares where she could put her cross to win the game. With a question like this, we want to find where there are 2 crosses in a row and finish it to make a 3. We have 2 crosses in a row here, so we could put 1 on B2. We also have 2 crosses in a row here, so we can put 1 on E3. We also have 2 crosses here that are filled by a gap, meaning C5. The last place we can look is going down here. We've got 2 in a line, leaving us with D5. This is the last square that we can use. The next part of the question says that Amy goes first in the next game. Assume that she will choose a square at random. Write down the probability that she will put her first cross in F6. She is choosing to put it in 1 square, which means 1 is our numerator, and if we count the total number of squares, we have 36, meaning our answer is 1 out of 36. If we look at F6, F6 is a corner square, but we have only 4 corner squares, which means that now she only has a 1 in 4 chance of choosing the square that she wants. This means that the probability will increase because she's got less to choose from. Question 12 is a nice short question. A dolphin and a whale are drawn to scale. The actual length of the dolphin is 3 meters. Estimate the actual length of the whale. In your example, take your rule and you would measure the length of the dolphin. You would then measure the length of your whale and see how much bigger it is. In this case, the whale 4 times bigger than the dolphin. So we simply do 4 times the length of the dolphin, which is 3, which gives us 12, so our answer is 12 meters. Question 13 is an area of a triangle question. The area for a triangle is length times height, all divided by 2. We're going to do 9.8 times by 2.6, which is 25.48. And then we're going to divide it by 2. So 25.48 divided by 2, which is 12.74. So our answer is 12.74. The next part of our question says the circle has a radius of 11.5 centimeters. Work out the area of the circle. When we work out the area of a circle, we use pi r squared, which means our radius squared. Our radius is 11.5. So pi times 11.5 squared, and this is something that we can put straight into our calculator, which gives us 450.48 centimeters cubed. So our answer is 450.48. Question 14 says that a machine takes 4 seconds to fill a packet of crisps. In total, how many packages of crisps can 35 of these machines fill in 8 hours? Firstly, we need to work out how many seconds are in 8 hours, so we can do 8 times 60 for 60 minutes, and then multiplied by 60 as well for 60 seconds. If we do this, this gives us 28,800 seconds. Now in this question we have machines, we have seconds, and we have crisps. We have one machine that takes 4 seconds to make one packet of crisps. So what we're going to do is we're going to work out how many packets one machine makes in 28,800 seconds. To get from 4 to 28,800 we need to multiply by 72. So we're going to multiply the 1 by 7,200, which gives us 7,200. We do not have one machine, we have 35 machines. If we have more machines, it's going to be quicker, so we're going to produce more. We take our 7,200 packets produced by one machine and multiply it by 35, which gives you 252,000. The next part, the question says each packet of crisps contains 32.5 grams of crisps. At what rate does the machine put the crisps into the packet? Give your answer in grams per second. This is a massive hint. Grams per second means we're going to have to take the weight and divide it by the amount of seconds. We know the weight is 32.5 and we divide this by 4 seconds, which is 8.125. So our answer is 8.125. In question 15, we've been given the table of values for y equals x squared minus 2. We've got a couple of blanks we need to fill in first. So if we write above what these values are, squared minus 3 squared is 9, 2 squared is 4, and 3 squared is 9 again. Now we can take 2 off these values, so 9 minus 2 is 7, 4 take away 2 is 2, and 9 take away 2 again is 7. Now all we need to do is fill these coordinates onto our graph below and join the points with a curve. Question 16 says towns A and B are shown in a centimeter grid and the scale is 1 centimeter represents 10 miles. What does the shaded area represent? And we're told to tick one of the boxes. The shaded area is representing all the points that are within a certain distance of the dot. If we look, we are 2 squares away, which means we are 2 centimeters away, which we then know represents 20 miles. So we always are within 20 miles of point A. Question B on this exam paper, unfortunately, I am unable to complete it because I can't get a protractor or a compass on the application that I'm using. Question 17 says to multiply out the following bracket: 5x bracket 3x minus 2 bracket. For this one we're going to do 5 times free, which is 15, and x times x, which is x squared, and then 5x times minus 2, which is minus 10x. So our answer is 15x squared minus 10x. Question 18 says that the diagram shows the age and the values of some cars in 2019. All the cars were the same make and model. What type of correlation does this graph show? If we look at the graph, the line starts quite high up and it is going down over time, which means it is a negative correlation. The next part of the question says write down the value of the car that was an outlier. So let's look back at our data. There is one point here that doesn't follow the trend. There is this point here, which is 4,000 pounds. The next part of the question is to use the graph to estimate the value of a new car of this make and model in 2019. A new car will be 0 in age, so we want to be looking around here. If we look, it crosses our axis here, which is around 15,300. The next part of our question says a car of this make and model has a value of 5,600. 2019. Use the graph to estimate which year it was made. So let's go back to the graph. Let's find 5,600. Should be around here. Go across to our line and go down. We get an age of roughly 7 years. If the car is 7 years old in 2019, that means it must be made in 2012. Question 19 says here is a triangle and a rectangle. A and B are positive numbers. Which shape has the largest perimeter? Perimeter is all of the outside of the shape added together, so let's split our page in half to do the triangle on one side and the rectangle on the other side. Adding all the sides on the triangle, we got 5a plus 4a plus 2a, which means we've got 5 plus 4 plus 2, which is 11, so 11a, plus 1b plus 7b plus 1b, which is 11b, giving us 11a plus 11b. For the rectangle, we need to fill in a bit of extra information. We got 4a plus 2b on top and a plus 4b at the side. Working out the number of i's, we have a plus 4a plus a plus 4a, which is 10a, plus 2b and 2b plus 4b, which is 12b. Since both of the numbers are in front of the letters for both the triangle and the rectangle are positive, that means we cannot actually tell which one is larger. For question 20 of this paper, the nth term sequence is 19 for n. What is the smallest value of n that gives a negative answer? The easiest way to do this is just to go through the sequence. If we start with 1 in place of the n, we get 19 minus 4, which is 15. And then we can just take 4 off each time, so 11, 7, 3 and minus 1. Minus 1 is our first negative term. But we want to know where in our sequence that is, so 15 is our first, 11 is our second, 7 is our third, and 3 is our fourth, so minus 1 is our fifth, so the answer is 5. Question 21 says, what is the longest possible chord on a circle? Circle your answer. A tangent is not in a circle, so we know it's not a tangent. The circumference is the outside of a circle, so we know it cannot be circumference. And the radius is half the size of the diameter, meaning that the diameter is always bigger. So our answer is diameter. Question 22 says the number of people living in a town is 47,000 to the nearest 1,000. Which one of these is a possible number of people living in the town? 46,000 rounds up to 46,000, so it's not the one we are looking for. 46,500 rounds up to 47,000, so we know this one is our answer. Question 23 says Jeff and Kaz share 270 pounds into the ratio 2.6 to 1. How much more does Kaz get than Jeff? In order to work out who gets what first, we need to work out what 1 unit is. We have a total of 3.6. So 270 divided by 3.6 equals 75. That means each unit is worth 75. Kaz gets 1.6 unit more than Jeff. So we can do 75 times 1.6, which equals 120, so Kaz gets 120 pounds more. Question 24 says to show that the two rectangles are similar. To do this, we need to show that they have been multiplied by the same number. Comparing the same sides, we get 28 divided by 35, which is 0.8. And we can do 40 divided by 50, which also equals 0.8. So they have the same scale factor. Question 25 says the equation of a straight line is 2y equals 6x plus 8. Find the gradient of the line. First thing we want to do is to make sure that it says y equals, so we're going to divide everything by 2. That gives us y equals 3x plus 4. The gradient is the number in front of the x, which is 3, so our answer is free. Question 26 says that at the country park there is a house, museum and a garden. The table shows the prices per person to visit the park. On one day, 480 people visit the park, and it's given us a load of information about what's happened. It says in total how much did the 480 people pay to visit the park. You may use the diagram to help you. Let's go through each piece one by one. We've been told the 67 visitors visit the garden only, and this has already been added to our Venn diagram. 40% visit the house and the museum, so if we do 0.4 times 480, we get 192, so 192 people visit both. We can put that in the middle. Three over 8 visit the house only, so 3 over 8 times 480 gives us 180. That goes into the house only part. And then the rest visit the museum only, so we do 480 minus 180 minus 192 minus the 67 that we already know about. This gives us 41 people remaining, so 41 people must have visited the house. The next bit of our question is to work out the totals for each part. 192 people visited the house and museum at £12.50 each. So 192 times 12.5 is 2,400. 180 people visited the house, which costs £8 each, so 180 times 8 is 1,440. And 41 people visited the museum only, so 41 times 7 is 287. And if we add them all together, we get a total of £4,127. Question 27 says the heel of the shoe exerts a pressure of 198 pounds per square inch. Convert this pressure to kilometers per centimeters square centimeter. We've been told that 1 pound equals 0.45 kilograms, so we can do 198 multiplied by 0.45, which gives us 89.1 kilograms. We're also told that 1 square inch is 6.25 centimeters, so we can do 81.1 divided by 6.25, which gives us 14.3, so 14.3 is our answer. Questions 28 says 6 positive numbers have a mean of 10 and a range of 19, and it gives us a list of numbers. Let's start with the mean. We have 6 numbers, so we can do 6 times 10 equals 60. So we know all 6 numbers add up to 60. If we add up what we have so far, we get to 37. So we have 23 remaining. Now we just have to work out some numbers that have a difference of 19 and also add up to 23. Those numbers are 21 and 2. Question 29, we've been given a solid shape. I will being asked to draw the front elevation, so we're stood in front of the shape from the direction of what does our shape look like? Well, we have a look. We've got this square here, we got this little rectangle here. So our square is 2 by 2 square, and we've got our rectangle, which is a 1 by 2 rectangle. The next part, the question says to draw our shape from a plan, so that means from above. If you look at what we have highlighted, this is what we need to draw on the next page. Eric thinks of a prime number between 20 and 30. His number is a percentage of 125. Work out one possible value of x. If we're looking between 20 and 30, we know a prime number can be 23. So the calculation we need to do is 23 divided by 125 and multiplied by 100. When we do that, we get 18.4. Question 31 says that part of a regular polygon with 15 sides is shown. Work out the interior angle. In order to do this, what we need to do is we need to take the number of sides and take away 2. So 15 take away 2 is 13. This means our shape is made up of 13 triangles. Angles in a triangle add up to 180, so 13 times 180 gives us 2,340. Our shape has a total angle of 2,340. We've got 15 sides, which means we've got 15 angles, so 2,340 divided by 15 gives us 156, so our answer is 156 degrees. Again, thank you for watching another one of our videos. On next paper go through will be a higher paper.